Like the emoji.
You did good, Dad.
Did he smile?
Sorry, kids.
Now I remember Dad and Berta Mae having a big fight in Glen. We lived in Glenwood because they got me up, you up.
All 10 of us in that bedroom up, right?
You guys were all up too? No, I don't know where you guys was at, but you and me and Byron and Fred. Do you remember this? He got us all up and took us into Grandma Sterling's.
Oh, we lived in Glenwood at that house.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dad got us up about 2 in the morning, took us all.
You guys went too?
Yeah.
Okay, now I don't remember that. Now from that time to how I got adopted, I have no idea. I'm lost. I have no idea how I got from there to there.
So how old were you when we lived in Glenwood?
8.
8, okay. Wow.
8, yeah. Well, did we live there very long after Mom died?
I don't think we lived there that long.
Because I was 8 when Mom died.
We were only there from sometime, like I say, Mom dies in March, and we're at Halcom's and going to New Salem in the fall. So
Okay,
it was
yeah.
only like 6 months when all that
I
happened. Went to school in Glenwood for at least 1 month.
Yeah.
We started school there.
But
Well,
after,
Greg says he don't remember it, but him and Byron was in Louisiana with me. You don't remember that? I got pictures somewhere.
So who lived in Louisiana? Bob?
Uncle Bob,
Okay. And which is Dad's brother.
Dad's brother, yeah. Very good man. Very.
you know, I don't remember Louise and Laurel. I don't remember ever seeing Dad. Never. Dad, I never had a dad. I mean, I don't remember ever having a dad down there.
Right.
Well, he was there.
I just remember him with
See,
the,
but-
with
He
the
stayed
bell.
downtown.
See? He was
Yeah.
never home.
Well, he'd come home from work. You never forget it. He'd have a wash basin, you know, and he'd shave, get ready. Dad was a dresser, let me tell you. He would never go out dirty, or
In his work clothes.
he looked nice all the time. And
Dressed to the T.
yeah, oh yeah, Mom would press his pants, and he'd
See,
go
she
downtown
did.
at Laurel, and they
So,
sat and
Where'd they go downtown Laurel? Just to sit around with friends? Or?
well, that's for
The Long Branch is all
the cop. The cop station. That's where Dad would go in there, and they'd play euchre all night, or
And did you tell me one time that when Mom would get money, she would hide it, put it away
Oh,
in the
yeah.
cookie jar, and her and Dad got in a fight
Yeah.
because he wanted the money, and he took the money and went downtown.
yeah.
Left us.
I don't ever remember sitting down at
I don't either.
a kitchen table with everybody.
Oh,
I mean,
remember that
I think it was kind of like there were
Whoever
so
get
many
there
of us.
first.
That's right. That's what it was.
There were
After
so
Dad-
many of us that I just. I
You
think
know
we
what
just,
time it was? You better get your ass home.
Oh,
We didn't
yeah.
go get nothing to eat.
Didn't you say that you ate ketchup sandwiches?
Oh yeah.
Ketchup sandwiches,
I remember
bacon grease.
Bacon
Oh yeah.
You dip
put
the
the
bread
bread
in
Yeah.
bacon
Ew.
grease and eat it.
Yeah.
I
Fold
mean,
it over and
you know, and
hey,
it's
I'm telling you, we lived very poorly.
Junior.
We were very
When
poor.
Mom and Dad picked me up, Charlie and Sue, we got home.
You smell like bacon grease.
No, Mom cooked something and had the grease there, and she wanted to know what I wanted. I said, "What?" And that's what I did. Mom was still talking. She just couldn't believe that I'd eat bacon grease on bread. But that was good.
We lived in a half apartment,
Yeah.
half a house.
Duplex.
We had a stairway. If you go into the house, the front door, to the right, there was a stairway. I mean, that stairway was like straight up.
It was really
You
steep.
remember that?
oh yeah.
And I don't know how many of us slept upstairs in that bedroom. My goodness, there was
All of us.
all of us.
There was 2 bedrooms. The first one was where Mom and Dad and the youngest,
Me
Right.
and
Yeah.
you
and Greg.
and Greg and Byron
slept
was
in
in
a
the
bed.
crib.
Upstairs, we always had a pot that we peed and pooped in. This pot was, I don't know,
Yeah.
so tall,
Had
and
a red rim around it.
Yeah.
Probably had a lid to
and
it.
we
Had a
had
lid, yeah.
You know what? I do.
we had to take turns. We had to take turns carrying that downstairs and taking it outside and emptying it.
And I remember they
We did not have a bathroom in the house.
Oh,
We
yeah.
had an outhouse in the back,
Yeah.
And it was way back there.
and we had the nice outhouse because it was double stalled.
Yeah. Yeah. I can remember
So
squirrel.
we'd go out there. You talking about cold winters?
Yeah.
Oh
I
God.
mean, we'd have
You
to
ever
go
drop
outside
that
to the
thing?
bathroom.
I can remember young little toilet holes, you know. I was real little. I can remember holding on with my knees and my butt way down in that hole so I wouldn't fall in now.
the holes were pretty big, weren't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah. You know, I honestly don't remember Mom because she was either pregnant with a newborn, because I was 3-4 years old at the time, and then there was Greg and Byron, and she was sick.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember is a hospital bed.
That's what I remember.
Yeah.
How long was
She had a hospital bed in the living room, in Laurel, and that's where she slept.
And that's all I can remember of her. So I remember Dad, but I don't ever remember a Christmas anything there. A tree.
Leon, do you know how long your mom was sick before she died?
Well, we lived in Laurel, and Dad and her would always go to Cincinnati for some reason. And somebody would babysit us, you know. I never knew why they went, but it was for her cancer.
You tell them about the time that Dad flew to Connersville with her.
She was home and had cancer, and one night it just let loose the blood, you know. There was a big, you would have thought that would have killed her. Big pool of blood, and Dad picked her up with his arms, ran her down them stairs, threw her in the car, and in 12 minutes, he was in Connersville at the hospital with her.
Now that's the last I remember Mom being in the hospital.
Did
I
she
don't
ever
really
come home?
remember her being a mother, but I remember going to the hospital because she let me drink out of her glass straw. They had glass straws back then. And she was dying and I didn't know it. They let us kids go
What?
in
Did she pass away in the hospital?
and I had no idea why.
She passed away at Aunt Chrissy's house. That's it. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
It was fine.
My God, I can't believe all that happened.
She said, "Tell us our story."
Oh,
The watch story. Okay. I've been kind of asking Leon about it because I forget, but he's saying I got this from Aunt Hattie.
We both got one.
We both got one.
Mhm.
And this is the Zorro watch that she got me and got Leon one. Did yours have your name on the back of it?
No.
you were special.
No, I think maybe when I got this, Eleanor and Johnny Moore probably had my name
Engraved on.
engraved on the back.
Exactly. When
So,
we got picked up at Glenwood, yeah, at the Hawkins. We was working, doing odd jobs around the farm. Come in on the wagon, we used to wonder who's going to go next, you know, because there'd always be a car. And then we'd start saying, oh God, I wonder who's going next.
Oh, that's just gotta be terrible.
And Fred went first. You remember that, Fred?
Yeah, I remember. Having to go upstairs and get my stuff and had brown paper bags.
Yeah, Byron, or he went first, Fred. And then there was Woohoo and me. And they came and got Woohoo next. And, well, matter of fact, when we were still at the house before they got us, she knew that we was going to be gone. So she had an early Christmas for us. That's how we got the watch.
Okay,
Okay.
I remember that.
Yeah. And then he went some weekends, and we would play. Do you remember that? You and me and Tom and
Mhm.
Jean?
Jane.
Yeah. And I was getting ready to go home, and I told Junior, you could have, this is your watch. You remember that? And, well, you gave me the watch, is what it was.
Right.
And you said, it's so you won't forget me. And I said, I wouldn't forget you. Because then, I was going back and forth and seeing him. I was satisfied, that it was a long time for us all you again. A long time. 14 years,
Yeah.
at least. And I gave him that watch. And I want it back.
So,
We
what
we
was-
wanted to give watches because we wanted us, to remember each other. My 60th birthday, Leon gave me back the watch that I gave him.
Visiting him, where were you where were you staying, or where were you living when he got adopted?
Well, I lived with Halcombs. I lived with,
You ended up in Carthage somewhere, didn't you?
yeah. Hated that.
But you know what? Can you believe how we all are today? Can you believe
I have
this?
said that over and over and over.
Every one of my brothers, every one
No
of them.
idea how my father had an idea of how to be a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every one of my brothers they're decent human beings, And what I went through, it made me stronger, and it just, yeah.
We got married in 71. When she died.
I didn't have a good life. Oh, you didn't have a real wonderful life yourself, but mine was worse. There's a lot that went on. I could have been anything out there. But I chose not to. I chose there's a better life.
Where did you live in Florida?
Miami.
Wow.
It didn't last very long.
They moved there. I didn't realize you moved there.
Where was Marie at that time?
She wanted nothing to do with me at the time. In fact, she wouldn't even talk to Grandma Creech. Remember that?
Who's Marie?
My adopted mother.
Foster care? Like, how was that brought about?
I think Harold's siblings were tired of taking up for him and just
Right.
dropping people off and
'Cause Dad
going
wouldn't-
and living his life.
Yeah, he's doing his
and
own
they
thing.
Were done with it.
Elnora tell us that he put an ad in the paper that he was.
Yeah, that's my mom, adopted mom, Eleonora, which is passed now. I think she died in 97 or 98, something like that. But she told me that Dad had put something in the paper, adoption ad or something for someone to adopt
Kids.
his kids. Dad was a rough guy
He was mean.
with his kids. Pretty mean.
Had no heart.
I can remember getting hit by Dad with he'd take switches off of trees, and actually you'd have welts on you from him hitting you.
Dad always put your parents, my adopted parents, Byron's, he called them all son of a bitches. You know, they took their kids in, you know, give them a home, schooling, food to eat, and it was not legal. Nothing was legal. Nothing was legal. Yeah, he would never admit to anything.
When my adoption came up, I was in third grade by then. Mom and Dad went through the process, but it took some time, and then they weren't exactly sure either because I was a handful. But then they left it up to me, and I remember I said, "Yeah, I'll stay." So they went through the adoption. Well, we go up to the courthouse. Judge Marshall,
Yeah,
who was
your relative.
yes, he was an uncle.
Yeah,
He was judge.
right.
So we're up there. We tried to get a hold of Dad. Mom said this is through Mom, but tried to make the process of making contact with Dad, putting that in the paper and all that kind of stuff. But he gets word of it finally, and he shows up the day of the adoption.
Right.
So Harold comes in to the courtroom, and the judge looks at him and says, "You know, what have
You
you?"
were there?
Yeah, I was sitting at a table with Mom and Dad, and you know, they were just signing the
Sue and
papers.
Charlie.
Yeah, Sue and Charlie. So he just asked him, you know, what's your story? What's going on? And he said he's here. I'm here to take him back. I'm not approving of this. And he said, well, why would you do that after all these years? But what I remember Mom telling me was they looked at her and said, well, that redheaded bitch has lied to me about not letting me see my son, blah, blah, blah. And I never remember seeing Dad ever at the brick house.
Right. I stayed
I
down.
didn't want to have anything to do with him. And where the Moores lived, where we lived in Rushville on Willow Street, it was right there in the black section of Rushville.
We lived in a black
And-
section in Terre Haute.
My best friends were the
Yeah.
Goinses, the Taylors.
The black people.
Yes.
Yep, me too.
Best friends, and right down the alley, they'd all come down the alley to my house, and we'd go over to the school, the Graham Annex. We played ball constantly. And to this day, I saw Rick Goins and Dennis Goins that were inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. And I saw them, when was that, Marianne? We saw Rick and Dennis talk
This winter,
at the girls.
like
Oh, yeah.
February or something.
Back in February, we went to a Rushville basketball game, and Dennis Goins and Rick were there. Larry Angle was there also, but Dennis was going to be inducted into the Indiana Hall of Fame. And he talked at halftime in the middle of the floor to everybody in the stands. And after all that happened, he gave an excellent speech. After all that happened, I went down and talked to Rick and Dennis, and just walking up to shake Dennis and Rick's hand. I mean, it's like, you know, Junior Moore. I mean, they know me, and then we always talk about playing basketball together all the time.
Kristen, tell them what Paul Bowling said to you one day.
Paul Bowling saw me at Fish Moon, and he came up to me one night. He said, Kristen, I want to tell you something. He said, you probably know this, but your dad was a really good man. He was a really good basketball player growing up, and he said he was the best basketball player I ever knew that didn't play basketball for school.
How would you explain that?
That's my brother cousin. I'm from Laurel. That's how. That's all you have to say. I'm from Laurel.
horseshoes.
That's my Uncle Dad right there.
And then
I was so mad. Every morning I'd get up. Boys were pissed on me. They did. I'm the only one that never went to bed.
oh,
I never did.
That's why you got pissed on.
Yeah, how do you know?